On December 6, 1917, a French cargo ship, the SS Mont Blanc, was entering the port of Halifax, Nova Scotia, with a huge amount of explosives on board, when she collided with the Norwegian cargo ship, the SS Emo. Then, the vessel caught on fire, and after roughly 20 minutes of burning, the ship exploded into a giant cloud of smoke and debris, instantly killing more than 1,600 people in the city of Halifax, and injuring over 9,000 people. This is the story of the Halifax explosion. Before we start the video, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss any new uploads from this channel. And make sure to go check out my merch store where we have products such as t-shirts, phone cases, canvases, and more. Go check it out in the link in the description below. On December 1st, 1917, the SS Mont Blanc departed New York Harbor after being loaded with cargo for the Allies, bound for the city of Bordeaux in France. She would also make a quick stop at Halifax to be loaded with more cargo. On board the Mont Blanc, she had 2,300 tons of picric acid, 200 tons of TNT, 10 tons of gun cotton, as well as 35 tons of benzol. When the Mont Blanc was entering the port of Halifax on the evening of December 5th, the anti-U-boat nets were raised, so she had to wait until morning. On the morning of December 6th, the HMCS Acadia signaled to all ships in the harbor that the nets were raised, and then the Mont Blanc began entering the port. Since she was carrying explosives on board, she was supposed to hoist a red flag on her mast, but the crew didn't want any German spies in Halifax to know that the ship was carrying explosives. At the same time, the Norwegian cargo ship, the SS Emo, was preparing to leave the port of Halifax. And you see, any ships that enter the port of Halifax have to enter through a small channel and then dock in the harbor of Bedford Basin. Any ships entering Bedford Basin have to enter on the east side of the channel, and any ships leaving the port have to sail on the west side. When the Emo was making her way through the channel, she encountered the SS Clara, which was sailing on the incorrect side of the channel. Luckily, both ships passed each other port to port without collision. However, then the Emo encountered the tugboat Stella Maris, which was towing some barges up the channel. And the Emo wasn't an easy ship to turn, so when she cleared the Stella Maris, she was now on the opposite side of the channel on where she should have been. Further down the channel, the Mont Blanc was sailing past George's Island and headed toward the starboard side of the channel. When the two vessels saw each other approaching, the Mont Blanc's captain ordered the engines to be stopped, and then the Emo blew her whistle to signal to Mont Blanc that they were turning. And then the Emo blew her whistle again, saying they were stopping their engines. Then the Mont Blanc was turned hard to port to try to avoid the collision, but it was too late. Then at 8:45 a.m. on December 6, 1917, the Emo slammed into the side of the Mont Blanc. The impact wasn't severe, but it was enough to cause the benzol containers on deck to spill. The benzol flooded on deck, and then a fire started on the Mont Blanc because of the grinding metal of the two ships. And the Mont Blanc started to drift towards the shoreline. Believing that the Mont Blanc would explode, the captain and the crew abandoned ship, and was yelling to everyone on the shore that the ship was going to explode. The Stella Maris then came over with a hose to try to weaken the fire, but the fire was too strong to try to stop it, so the Maris backed away. At roughly 9:04 a.m., almost 20 minutes after the fire started, the Mont Blanc exploded into a massive cloud of smoke and debris, instantly sending a huge amount of smoke and debris at a speed of roughly a kilometer per second, and setting the temperatures up to 9,000 degrees Fahrenheit. The explosion also created a huge 60-foot high tsunami which washed the Emo and the Stella Maris up to the shore bank, and any buildings within 2.5 miles of the explosion were destroyed, and over 1,600 people were killed and over 9,000 injured. Most of them were blinded when they were up against their window and got blasted by glass. And the explosion was even felt as far as Prince Edward Island 110 miles away, and even felt as far as Cape Breton 130 miles away. And the over 6,000 people who did survive the blast were now homeless. It's still debated today on how this terrible disaster occurred. Most of the blame did go to the Mont Blanc, who didn't hoist the red signal flag and not taking enough precautions to avoid collision, especially since the Emo didn't turn very well. But both vessels were blamed equally for the disaster. But today, we should pay tribute to the 1,782 people who were killed in that terrible disaster. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and turn on notifications. I try to make a new upload every week, so don't miss out. If you'd like to support my channel, make sure to go check out my merch store. There's a link for that in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.